But the problem remains that you have to be at the table in the existing political realm. You have to be a Demopublican or a Republican, is what we call it. and now, to me right now, the bottom line is the situation is completely out of hand. The decay of the federal government is absolutely and completely, it's totally complete. What has been forgotten in this country, in America, is that America, at one time, was a union of sovereign states that surrendered a certain part of their rights to the federal government, and most importantly, retained the rest of them. All the rest of them. That's come completely full circle to now, where if it isn't enumerated, you don't have it. Instead of the original concept, if it wasn't on the list, it's yours to deal with. The federal government is just plain a monster. The states are lines on a map, and they're trying to erase them as quickly as they can, including some of the international ones to the north and the south. The government can do no wrong. They're not wrong in Iraq. There's nothing that they ever admit that they're wrong to. We had a situation on a road in Alaska where it ended up, we had a deed title conveyed to the state on statehood. We had the deed in our hand in front of the judge, and the judge looked at us and said, oh, well, that transfer is either illegal or inadvertent. Now, if I go too fast down this road and get a speeding ticket, can I get away with telling the cop, well, that was inadvertent. I didn't mean to go that fast. No, you're not going to get away with it, but the government can do it. And part of the reason that many of us are in this room is that the wrong they do reflects on us. When we travel, we've learned, we don't say we're Americans. We say we're Alaskans. And it's a totally different group of situations. We've gone into classrooms in Fairbanks and do presentations to the school, to the high school, all the way down into the elementary school. And when we speak at the high school, we talk to these youngsters and tell them that they're different. They already know it. And when we talk about America, there are kids in that class doing this. And when we say Alaskan, their thumbs are up. And they're the ones that I'm worried about. We have to save. They talk about all these lockups of minerals and stuff in Alaska. That doesn't bother me as much as you might think. Because with the situation the way it is now, we're going to have to leave those young people something to pay the bills that they're running out. And the longer this situation continues, the harder it's going to become for a peaceful solution. So that's why it's so important that everyone in this room brings what they have, and we try to work something out. We're well into an economic war. World War III has been going on for about 20 years, and the money is the main weapon. If you can get your opponent to spend all his money and have nothing left, devalue his money so there's nothing left, you've won that war without ever firing a shot. So, and it's been said before, I don't remember who said it first, but I know I've said it before, and as gold miners in Alaska, I stood in front of a group of my fellow miners, and I told them that we have to hang together, or they're going to pick us off one by one. Well, the gold miners that I know are as independent, if not more so than I am, and we all heard what I said, but nobody listened. They're not coming after me today. They're not trying to shut me down. Your water's dirtier than mine. You don't know how to mine. All these different relationships between the individuals involved prevented us from becoming that core. We tried different organizations. None of them seemed to work. So the long and the short of that is in the area where we mined in the 1980s, there was about 150 small mom and pop gold mines. Today, less than 10. In the meantime, more than 5 of the mega corporate mines have been established to take their place. So the idea is the guy that lost his own mine is to go up on the hill and work for the big outfit. And I know many of you have seen the same thing happen to the small businesses and industries in your own areas, your home states. Now my biggest question is, how can we all put our efforts together with one common goal in mind? What can we agree on? And one of the things that came to my mind, both of these secessionist conventions, been held in cities with brick buildings, both old and new, and they all have their own story to tell. But every time I see that, I think for a minute of the men who built those buildings. They started with a pile of bricks about this big. And they put those bricks together. There was no machine to put 10 bricks down at a time. Every one of those bricks was put in place by hand, cemented in one by one. And the result is a very sound and usable building. But they had to have one thing before they started, or it never happened. They needed a plan. They needed to know where all those bricks fit, where the windows would go, where the doors would go. Without that plan, they would have no building. I believe here each of us are bringing our own little bag of bricks. And we're hoping to build a sanctuary, I think, for liberty out of those bricks. And it's our duty to devise a way to fit those bricks together. Thank you.